Hi, this is Rob Leo, and in this brief tutorial, we're going to take a look at getting started with Seesaw, which is a digital platform that allows students to document their learning in a variety of ways, including images, audio, text, links, and video. To get started, I'm at seesaw.me. If you want to get here and do a Google search, type in Seesaw. You're looking for web.seesaw.me. And once you land here, you can kind of see some informational stuff. There's a sign up for free button. Of course, you can always check that stuff out at the top of the screen as well as some of the features. I've already signed up, so I need to click the login screen. But if you're new to it, of course, sign up for free is the choice for you. Once you do so, you can identify yourself as a teacher and you can sign up with Google. I've visited Seesaw before, so I've already set up my class. But just to orient you a little bit to the page, notice my name is up at the top of the screen. This is my account settings. If I click this gear, I can click on my account settings and I can give myself a display name. I can add an icon for myself. Because I logged in with Google, it extracted my Google icon. You can also include your phone number, but notice that's not a required field. If you wanted to, you can add your school. We are not using Seesaw Plus, which would administer an entire district. So there's really no necessarily any need to use the to include your school, but of course you certainly could. And then you can decide if you want to get email notifications, if you're using this on a mobile device, if you want to get push notifications from either Apple or Android. And if you want any tips and tricks and updates from Seesaw, of course, you can activate that as well. And if you archive any of your classes, of course, you can manage them there as well. In addition to your account settings, you've also got your class settings. And instead of the traditional gear, they use a wrench icon. And it's here where you would access the student code to invite students to join your class. There's also a way to set it up so families can become involved. And once your students are enrolled, family members can be tethered to their child's account and they can kind of follow what their child is doing in Seesaw. I've given my class a name. If you want to change it, of course, you can click the class name and change it. You can decide on grade level. When I first did the setup, I just put other. If you have other teachers you'd like to invite and work as co-teachers, you could invite them with their email address. You can decide on your class theme. There's some limited colors in their palette. You can also decide on a class icon. I chose a globe. You can see it appear over here, which you can pick one of the tools. The ML is for Mr. Leo. If you wanted to add your own image, you could do that as well. And then you can decide how you want your students to sign in. As far as student sign-in mode, you can share a class code with them. You can also, if the devices are shared, if it's a one-to-one where the student has their own device, they can choose their name from a class list and stay signed in as that student. If you want to invite students with email, you could do that as well. But at West Genesee, for example, students in the younger grades don't have email addresses, but they can certainly log in with Google. So I've got mine set up to be a class code on a shared device. Once your students are in, you can manage them here. I don't have any students enrolled at the moment, but I will add one soon. You could, as far as student likes and comments, you can kind of manage if the students are able to like someone else's post. You can decide if you want to enable students to comment on other people's posts. And you can also decide if you want those comments to require moderation from you, the teacher. So notice I've got that turned on. In other words, comments won't appear until the teacher approves of the comments. And that way we can cut down on some bullying and so forth. Students can see each other's work. You can turn that on or off. If you'd like to use this as an audience of one, for example, if the student wants to upload stuff and share it exclusively with the teacher, then you can turn off students can see each other work. But if you want the students to view each other's stuff, of course, you can keep that turned on and the audience expands to the whole class. You also have new items require approval. Again, that way you don't get any surprises. The items will be brought to your attention first, and you can release them to the larger group if you keep that turned on. Notice mine is turned on, it's green. If you want to enable students to edit after they post, you can turn this on. I typically don't set it up that way. I'd rather hold students accountable for what they put, and if they have to correct something, they can always post again. I haven't turned on family access, but it's a matter of clicking the button and you can invite parents. As far as inviting families, you can print paper invites, you can view a sample email, but it's pretty easy to get parents involved. And of course, if you have any requesting access, you can see those pending family approvals here. And you can also enable or disable family likes, comments, and sharing. So if you want to get parents involved and interact directly on your class feed, then you can do that as well. You can turn all this stuff on to allow families to like and comment. And again, I've got it turned on so that there's an approval process before things are released to the larger group. You could also enable a class blog. This will expand the audience to other Seesaw communities. I do not have this turned on at the moment. I'm going to keep it contained to just my own class. And you can also have folders of student work. I don't have any students involved right now, but you can organize work by class, theme, subject area, or project. You can also show add to folder step. If you want the students to add stuff to a specific folder, they could do that as well. I'm going to turn on students and teachers. That way students can place stuff in a particular folder if they're directed to do so. As far as managing skills, you can tag student posts with your own set of skills. In other words, you can come up with your own naming conventions, and once a student has mastered a skill, you can kind of tag a post so you can keep track of the skills. Notice there's a plus new skill button, so you can kind of keep track of things. If you want to approach this instead of a skill, you could potentially approach this as a standard. I believe, well, it looks like this is an advanced thing, so disregard that. This is a premium feature, so we're going to skip over that one for now. And also you can save stuff to a camera roll. We're not using a mobile device for this. I'm working off of a laptop at the moment, but you could also have stuff saved to a camera roll if you wanted to. As far as all the management stuff goes, I think it's relatively straightforward. The one thing I have to say about Seesaw is they do have a great help section. So if you click on your account and you look at the very bottom of the screen, you can see help. And once you do so and click on it, a new tab opens up. They have a search box to ask for help, but they also have some categories as far as getting started, the basics, beyond the basics. And they also have some specific ideas for your classroom. And I think they break it down by grade level. So you can check some activities out that might be appropriate for pre-K to second grade, third grade to fifth grade, etc. But lots of great help and support materials here to help you get started using this service. I have to say this is one of the best services I've seen in terms of giving the students lots of choices to document their learning and share it with either the teacher or the whole class. When I come back, we'll look at some more of Seesaw. Thanks for listening.